Shalom Akim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Rome, his son rule well, and the Akim tribe, the four corners of the earth, preaching the gospel from Mashiach Yahweh Shai in sincerity and truth. This bit of Nasha DC camp, we're another update with what's going on in the neighborhood. Man, this Edomites on the sword, man, they're inseparable. All right, just like when you read the book of Genesis, chapter 27, from 38 to 40, it lets you know about Esau and the sword, and these Edomites in the state of Virginia. In fact, throughout the four corners of the earth that lack weapons, and America is basically the center of attention when it comes to the owning of weapons, right? And these Edomites, man, in these so-called red states and blue states, they understand what it means to have a weapon. Yeah, that's their sense of security, all right, because they know that they can't really depend on the local law enforcement or federal law enforcement agencies to look out for them. So they rather be in the front line themselves when it concerns their own their own lives. Yeah, so it's gonna get ugly, all this agenda pushed by the elite for gun control, and they're basically working their way. Right, they're moving puzzle pieces here and there, so they're gonna push more legislation to clamp down on the people's desire for so-called freedom or whatever they want to call it, liberty. Yeah, so it's gonna get tense. Yeah, so state of Virginia, these Edomites here don't play around when it comes to weapons. Yeah, so that's the reason why, weapon sales going through the roof, because they see the shenanigans that Amalek, so-called Jewish folks, are up to, and they want no parts of it. Yeah, so it's going to get violent. That's a given, according to the book of Isaiah chapter 19. It's going to be violent in Egypt. And when you read that book of Second Ezra chapter 15, it lets you know that there's going to be a so-called civil war, what we call insurrection here in America, also known as Babylon and Egypt. Yeah, so it's going to get ugly. And, the men of the Lord don't have to worry about it, because that's their fight with these Edomites. Our fight is different. Our fight is spiritual. Yeah, so, just don't depend on firearms, man. Firearms not really gonna get you out of the situations. Just through the words of Hamashiach Yahushai. And even if you have to carry a firearm for your job, yeah, don't depend on it, because after a while, you just gotta let it go. Have to trade it in, to get certain things, and to move on, because you already have faith in the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is going to get you to the next level. And you understand what happens when you get that spiritual power from Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. That means all those weapons become paper. Yeah, so I'm going to read a precept real quick from the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 33. It says, "Surely the churning of milk bringeth forth butter, and the wringing of the nose bringeth forth blood. So the forcing of wrath bringeth forth strife." And that's what's going on, man. This legislation that the so-called government officials are mandating and passing, it's just stirring up strife. It's agitating the people, and the people are upset. All right. So I'll play this video real quick, and then you understand, man, how the spirit of defiance is rampant in America. This is just in the state capital, Richmond. Yeah, so I mean, it's just gonna get ugly and ugly and uglier. You see the cops standing by because they don't want none of that. But they're gonna be forced to get in it when all hell breaks loose. When they say all hands on deck, they gotta get in there. Yeah, and it's gonna be fearful times, man. Fearful times. You know, you got folks willing to lay their lives on the line. And you got his veterans too, man. You know, wherever they want to label themselves as patriots or boogaloo or militia members. Give me pictures of that. Make sure I get it. They understand what's at stake. So that's that spirit, man. That spirit of rebellion in America. All right. Yeah. So the cops are just gonna chill, and you know they don't want none of that. But hey, it was a Mosai show, and those that are gonna engage in violence, we do that. Those that don't want to, well, they can't run away, man, because America is going to be that battlefield. You know, just like Esau likes to say, the world is a battlefield when they have to go and fight those terrorists abroad. And here in America, yep. So people are going to understand that the government is their enemy, and they have to push back so they could have some breathing room. But it's all going to be for naught because the Lord has already said they're going to, destroy each other. Yeah, so America is going to be destroyed from within and from without, right? That's the reason why you have World War III. Okay, that's the final blow to America. Okay, so I'm going to read from the book of Sirach, chapter 28, verse 10 and 11. So it says, as the matter of the fire is, so it burneth. Right? Because when you take a class into fire prevention, it tells you about the different levels and types of fires. Okay, different type of materials that you need to be aware of and how to tackle it. Okay, and then it says, and as a man's strength is, so is his wrath, and according to his riches, his anger riseth. And the stronger they are which contend, the more they will be inflamed. All right. So it's gonna get messed up, man. You know, when the police get involved, and then you're gonna have your so-called National Guard and the army get involved, it's gonna get ugly. All right. And then verse 11 says, and hasty contention kindleth a fire, and unhasty fighting shedded blood. So there's going to be bloodshed in America, man. In America, soil, man. There's nothing the FBI can do about it because they know the history of their so-called engagement with people that don't want to go along with the government anymore, and how they have to cover up certain facts of the engagement, all right, with the people that don't want nothing to do with an oppressive system that's controlled by the elite. Yeah, so it's gonna get messed up, man. You just have to pray that you don't find yourself, you know, uh, running around, man, with a weapon. Because just understand, man, it's a spiritual, what you call it, a spiritual event that's been ordained by the Lord. So whatever the Lord has already ordained in the heavens, it shall take place upon the earth. All right, it's all prophecy, and you just have to trust the Lord that He will get you out of it. Okay, because it's basically going to be the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, it's going to be a mixture. All right, the civil insurrection and Jacob's trouble. That's a terrible combination right there. And I'm going to read another precept. from the book of Zechariah chapter 14 verse 14. It says, "And Judah shall also fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance." All right. So it's gonna get messed up, man. How people gonna get up in the business too? Of course, you already have the NFAC. Yeah, so it's gonna get ugly, man. Just have to understand that our people are gonna have to trust in the Lord, but those that are destined, to be zealots, they're gonna pick up the sword and want to, control things, but it's not gonna go their way. All right, and this is what happens when you have an unrighteous kingdom. There's so much strife and tempers just all over the place. So Leviticus chapter 19 verse 15 says, "You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor." Okay? So that's the reason why there's so much trouble in America, because America cannot keep the laws of the Heavenly Father, the laws that are specified in the Holy Scriptures. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 15. You hear about all these lobbyists, trying to influence the politicians to go along with the rich. And that creates a huge divide with the people. All right? And that's what's been going on ever since, man. Ever since the divide between the rich and the poor. Yeah. And I'm just, letting you know, man, it's going to get, spicy in Babylon, man. Spicy hot. Yeah, so they're already letting their so-called elected officials know where they stand. And, when they try to petition and they keep maneuvering and playing games with the people, then the people will have to say they're not going to comply. And that's the vibration, that's the sentiment, that's going around the country, right? So come the year 2021, it's going to be, smoking. I call that the year of the smoking gun, all right? So that's Babylon for you. Yeah, so it's gonna get ugly, man. So this is just, Edomites and a couple of jakes in there. And then you also got to have Elam. Elam. Elam got to carry weapons in these last days in Babylon too, because they got to protect their businesses and their so-called communities. Then you got to have Ham, these Cushites. Then you're gonna have Ishmael, and then you're gonna have Moab and Ammon, West Coast, whatever. So every jurisdiction where there's a hidden state, they're gonna have to regulate. And when you have Ephraim, you got in New York and Simeon, then you got Levi over there in Florida and Manasseh, and then you also have Issachar, throughout the southwest and the west coast, and then Judah, Benjamin, Levi, East Coast. So it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly. So you just gotta pray for spiritual guidance in these last days. So final precept is gonna be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 20. It says, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial. So this considering the the elites of Esau, man, because they've they've conjured so much damage, right? Because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. All right. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Yeah, so these Edomites, man, they're gonna go against each other, man. They're not gonna care, if it's a person in uniform or police chief or elected official. They're gonna, express themselves with a bang, all right? So it's not just gonna be men. You're gonna have women in there too. Sodomites are also gonna carry weapons, right? So all that LGBT nonsense is not gonna be it's not gonna be advocated for, man. It's gonna be a battle to survive. Yeah. So Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna let America, burn itself from within. All right, with all these skirmishes with the government, and World War III is also gonna be that final nail in the coffin, and just understand, man, the angels are also going to do their part, by shooting those laser beams, destroying America's infrastructure. And it's going to be really desperate times, man, in those days that the man of the Lord have to look upon, Hamashiach Yahushai for salvation. So that was the point that I came. Hope you've been edified, and I pray that Lord Yahweh Shai continue to make you a better witness in these last days. Shalom.